New Zealand's leading health and wellness events company brings you the NZ Spirit podcast.
We are Nikki
And Franko,
the founders of NZ Spirit Festival, Resolution NYE Festival, and NZ Yoga Day. Join us as we reveal industry secrets, interview local and international thought leaders, musicians, and artists in the sphere of health, well-being, and personal transformation. Welcome to this episode of the NZ Spirit podcast. We are thrilled to be joined by Brian from Cornerstone Roots. Welcome, Brian.
What up? This is
welcome. Oh, there she is.
She said she was going to be at Pilates, but she's joined us.
Yes, just got back from Pilates.
Oh, welcome,
Awesome.
Naomi, right?
Yeah, nice to meet you, Brian. Nice to see you.
Yeah, really nice to meet you too. We're really stoked to have you guys on here and playing at Resolution Festival at the end of the year / start of 2001, bringing us through
2021.
21, sorry. Cornerstone Roots, man. We've been a fan of you guys for a long time, and we've come to Soundsplash a couple of times. We're a fan of your festival. And without really knowing you at all, we're a fan of you as parents because you jam with your children.
Yeah, absolutely. We do.
Yeah, we'd love to know how Cornerstone Roots began.
Yeah, where did it all start?
Take us back.
Well, you can start on that, Brian.
Well, Naomi and I, we just used to play together, really, just her and I, just bass and guitar and write songs. Maybe as late as maybe 98. And then the children came along and we still played. And then we there was a Raglan musicians club every once a month on Thursdays. And we thought, we'll just get down and have a look. And we grabbed a drummer, which was Boyd Dixon, and jammed a few songs. And then it really basically just started from there. We weren't meaning to start a band or anything like that. It just kind of happened organically, and then they started to get more popular, and they'd just wait for us to play, and then it just sort of grew from that, and then that's pretty much how it started.
Yeah, it's the three of us.
Yeah. So
2001.
Yeah, 2001. So, and then we sort of come up with a little bit of a plan. We got rung up by a few radio stations if we had any music, and it's like, so we did some recording and put out our first EP, and then it just basically just grew from there, and then we started adding musicians along the way. So I actually, I thought, okay, I might give this a crack. I'll give it a couple of years, and we sort of put a plan together and just sort of achieved that fairly quickly, and then put more plans in place, and then just achieve those really fast and really quickly. So, and then I guess here we are today. Next year will be 20 years, February 17th.
Wow. There's something so magical about that organic growth.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're a pre-internet band, so
Yeah, everything was pre-internet.
Everything was pre-internet. So it was a lot of word of mouth, and I guess at that time the New Zealand music scene was just about to thrive anyway. There was some exciting new bands, and we were lucky to tour and meet a lot of bands and become friends with a lot of them, and we still are today. So
Awesome.
We're quite very fortunate.
Awesome. And just going back to like the people in your band, that must have changed and looked quite different over the years, because you've got, is your daughter now on the drums?
Yeah. Our daughter Kaea's on drums.
Yeah, and Reiki's on vocals and guitar.
Wow.
We have Aaron Bush, who's been almost 17, maybe 16 years now.
Wow.
Nikki's like 15 plus years on keyboards. So, I mean, those guys have been the staple part of the Cornerstone sound as well, and their vibe and their energy is just it's been an amazing journey for all of us. We've had a lot of different, respect to all the players that have played with Cornerstone over the years. There've been a lot of great musicians, and Kaea's been playing with us for 5, maybe 6 years, because she used to trigger samples first and sing vocals. I think she was maybe 15. Yeah. She's 22 now. So Reiki's been on the road with us since he was 10.
Wow.
Been on the road with us since they were young, and that was just because we were both in the band, and it was easier to travel back then. Things were so costly. You go down south for a couple of weeks, do gigs all the way, so it was just easier to bring the kids in there. And so they were just used to it. And there was a lot of festivals between 2001 and 2008 in New Zealand, so it was just kind of going from one to another in the summer. And as Reiki was 10, one of our backing vocalists couldn't make it, and it was kind of a joke that Brian said, "Oh, that's you, son, you're up," and he took it on really seriously.
Wow.
You're 10-year-old.
Yeah, from then on, he toured with us in Europe and sang on stage. It's just been their life. It was a natural progression for them to jump in to the drums and vocals.
Yeah.
They know how we roll. We're mum and dad, so
man, they've been grooving since they've been in your belly.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely. And they used to hang out in the green rooms, and now they're on stage. So it's really nice, and it's awesome to have them in the band. Yeah.
And what's it? Oh yeah, that's so cool. And so what's it like for you guys as parents and traveling musicians? What is that dynamic like? What are the things that are difficult? What are the things that are really awesome for children and families at festivals and on the road as musicians?
I think for the Cornerstone whānau, they always knew that we were going to bring our kids. Not many kids were probably around at some of the festivals that we did, and so they would let us. They were very kind. They'd give us a green room that we could hang out with. I think it's really, for me, it was good to have a nanny on the road or someone that I knew on the road with me. It was really difficult. You're going to go on stage at 10 p.m., but the 3-year-old needs to go to bed,
Oh, we know this vibe.
All that kind of stuff, and just having that person that can be there has made I and Brian's journey a little bit easier, so we could concentrate on the performance. And sometimes I was still breastfeeding, and it is.
Yeah.
But it was a lot.
It comes through in your music, though. It's true roots. Yeah, it's not just like the genre or whatever. For that long to be traveling, and the homage that you pay to everyone who's been with you, and like your children are woven into the experience. Like, we're driving this morning, taking the kids to school, and my kids like, "What's this song? What's this music?" We're always like pushing stuff out, and they were feeling it. And that's your guys' stuff. And that was what was important for us for Resolution Festival, was to have like a family. And as soon as we saw you guys, it was just like, man, there's just like no way anyone else would work. Okay, this is it.
Yeah. There's so many places I want to go next with this conversation. But we knew at the last Soundsplash festival that we were at. We went to the latest one that you guys had, and we saw you guys jamming, and we were singing along some Bob Marley covers, and we were just rocking out with your son, who was like going wild, like Zach from Rage Against the Machine up there. Like he's awesome, and you guys have parented him in a way that he can just like be wild when the time is right, and a lot of us don't get that chance to be wild. And I think we're really lucky as musicians to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I guess, I don't know, I'd say that both of us kind of, our parenting was a little bit freedom.
Brian?
They kind of knew
We didn't clip their wings.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you gave them enough roots, like groundedness as well. Or at least this is what we see. Yeah, people can't fly unless they're grounded as well. Like, you know, like all not healthy guy flying.
Yeah. And like...
Yeah, I feel like we've done our best.
Yeah, we definitely did. But then, you know, that's from a holistic approach. You know, it was right down to the kai, down to the routine of no matter if we're at a festival, okay, you might be able to stay up a little bit longer, but actually it was all about keeping those boundaries of groundedness so that they could in the day go and be free and express and and that went right through. I think it may show through the music that kind of what kind of people we are and we live it like that. So yeah.
I absolutely love playing with the lineup that we have right now.
Yeah.
There's no other. I've played with lots of different musicians. There's nothing like playing with your family, and especially your children. And that vibration just seems to emanate. And you know, when you hit it, when you find that space, that click, and it's amazing for me.
Yeah, that makes me emotional thinking about it. Like the years that we may have ahead of us with our kids growing up. My daughter starts keyboard and singing lessons tomorrow night for the first time. You know, she's 8, and I'm like, wow, like maybe this could be me. But like to see it actually happening, the bond that you guys have, and the undeniable, the rhythmic tones that you could only get as a family, as a whānau, you know, is really unique, and you guys are really, really unique. And our festivals and events that we run are real whānau based. We're non-alcohol, you know, waste free, real safe places for people to come and have their wings unclipped if they're adults, and continue to keep their wings if they're kids. And you know, and the kids dance into the late night, and you know, so having you guys take us into the new year. It's perfect.
Yeah, it'll be awesome for all of us.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah,
we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a female rhythm section.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm actually
quite different.
Yeah, I guess it is quite different to get that. It's not often that you'll find in New Zealand a rhythm section that are female doing roots, and I'm kind of
mother and daughter is what it.
Yeah, mother and daughter. Yeah.
Oh, this is epic.
Yeah.
This is epic.
Creation.
You see applications come through, I'm sure, as well with your dual role, right, as festival runners, and often we find there is a much stronger male application base. Maybe it's just our type of music or something like that. But to see really strong women come through, especially holding down the rhythm section, and especially being a mother and daughter, like what? Yeah, this is great, and this has been feedback for us. It's like more women on the lineup, more women vocalists, more women with their guitars or the instruments. So that's epic as well. Festival running.
Yeah,
what do we want to?
We'd love to know about the start of like Sound Splash and how that evolved as big topics to talk about, because you guys are big visionaries. So we'd love to know how that started. Did that come from the band, or like what happened there?
We started that in the Raglan town hall.
Yeah. Awesome.
Go back to the roots all the time.
That's how it started.
I think it was us and Catch a Fire.
It was Catch a Fire.
Oh man, it's so awesome.
Oh, man, I just can't even remember.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. 20 years ago next year.
Yeah, next year. So, we started it in Raglan Town Hall. We just kind of packed that out, and it was so much fun. And then we decided to take it outdoors like the next year. And so
the next year?
Yeah, next year.
Yeah.
And I think there was a movement of roots around that time, like there was quite a few bands that were travelling on the road, and like you were saying yesterday, Brian, that we were kind of tagged on the end of other festivals. But the tent where the roots music was packed and everywhere else was empty.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So then we started to think, okay, this needs to be out there more. So yes, that's where the first beginning of Soundsplash kind of started, so that we could all go out and play and get our music
and represent those genre bands and acts of playing, and so shoulder tapped bands from Wellington and Taranaki and Auckland and ourselves, like Freddy's and Trinity.
Cool.
And Catch Fire. And and after we did the first Soundsplash, we started running shows in the town hall, like constantly running, like whether it was Cora or Freddy's or Trinity or Black Seeds, or started running shows. So and then Soundsplash, turned into what it was.
And then, I guess our kids were hitting kind of high school, which is a whole different level of education, I suppose, because they were into sport as well. So we just and they needed to go away. They had to go over to Hamilton, so we chose this lifestyle so that we could go and watch them play their games and could go and watch them do kapa haka. They were really heavily involved in kapa haka, got all the way through their high school, both of them, and kind of that's when they started to say, why don't you bring the festival back? And they were maybe 14, 15 when they asked. And then Brian was like, well, if we do, then you need to help us, because they wanted a youth ticket.
What's
a youth ticket? And they're basically like, that we can come and we can come to this festival. And so that started off at 14. That was like, well, that's way too young.
Yeah, we're not going to do that again.
And that was like, oh no, 16. And so the festival has changed. It's if you came this year, you might have noticed that.
You kind of missed out quite a big period.
Tell us about those time periods. So the festival started.
2001 to 2008. 2008. We got absolutely smashed on that year with weather. Tickets. It's just that was the end of that. We lost our house. We lost everything.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, that's the festival kind of. So after that, it took us about maybe 6-7 years to sort of recover from that, because it sort of not only impacted on our identity as Soundsplash, it also impacted on our identity as Cornerstone Roots.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
No
one goes out there to try and fail, but basically that's what happened. So, what actually happened? There was a young boy in Raglan that we grew up with, and he actually ended up passing away. How old was 17? 17. So at the Tangi, that's where this conversation came up again. A lot of us that were around, that were involved in the festival at the time, Rick, Extreme Waste, and a lot of people, we were all at this Tangi, and we said there needs to be something for the youth. Yeah. So basically, that's when the conversation came up about Soundsplash, and that's when we had the conversation with our kids.
Wow.
So coming back to it, what I means is that, it's not the same as what it used to be, because the whole focus was now for the young people, generation. And, giving them an opportunity, to flex a bit, to experience music, to experience festival culture, before they get older and get thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, cool.
So that's a little bit of backstory on that, just filling in a few of those gaps of how it came from a full-on eco reggae festival to what it has become today. And, and at that time, I remember the kids were saying, look, come on, Dad, don't make it a reggae festival. I'm like, oh. Don't have an eco zone, it's too hippie. We're like, we might just weave that through the festival instead of having a dedicated eco zone and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, solar power charging stations, yeah, awesome. So it's kind of grown from there. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that probably one of the things that was the zero waste. I'm pretty proud, like back in 2001 or 2002, my mum was doing zero waste at any type of event at all. And because I was going to heaps of events and sports events as well, that was just rubbish everywhere. I was like, So I worked with my friends Rick and Liz at Extreme Waste, which is in Raglan, around the zero waste, and we did that for very solidly together. We worked on it to be able to push it out even further. Susa was another person that worked very close with us, and I think this every year we're always trying to do a percentage of diversion to landfill, and this year with probably around 9,000 people on site of the camping grounds and the venues, we did 83% diversion to landfill. So I'm really stoked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah. So it's been something that I am pretty stoked about how we've all been able to work together and get it to where it is and just keep on doing it. And it was funny because a couple of years ago it was our festival that was on the Herald with the camping tents and that were left behind and everything. Here we go. And the media will put out what they want to put out. And but behind the scenes there were so many things going on and it's got to another level, and I'm really stoked. And and also bringing other like festivals like yourself and other people that are doing that just makes it easier for attendees to just go to each festival and know this is how it works. And that's all I wanted. I just wanted it at every event so that the behaviours would change, and that's so great, to go.
I think. Yeah, you haven't picked like an easy, like, thanks kids, you haven't picked an easy market as well. Like, you're going to be under scrutiny for like sort of whatever you do. It's not going to be good enough. The media are going to love it as a story. But, when we were there, you had it down. It was beautiful. Your top acts. Kids are having so much fun. We were like the oldest there by like 30 years,
Until we went and saw your set, and then we were like, "Here's our home."
We were in our home zone. Yeah, that was fun. But it was beautiful, and it was tidy, and people were safe, and there was nothing out of hand. But there were kids really feeling into their limits and having a good time. And so, hats off to you for incorporating your own things that you need to have there, right? Like this waste initiatives and stuff, but also knowing you can't hold tightly to what you know is true, knowing over the years that you've had to bend and had to flow with what's happened.
And we have to gather as community, but we can gather mindfully. And it's a really powerful age group that you're bringing in, because you have an opportunity to teach them about sort of right and wrong in a way, better and worse ways to live your life, to hang out with your friends, to pick up after yourself, and all that. So
like all your advertising, look out for your friends, like all that.
Was cool.
You hired a local artist, right, to put together these like really that's epic. That's the vibe. That's almost as good as it gets at that age, right? Where it's this rebellion, this inner kind of fight for freedom and stuff. You've got to find ways around that. So hats off.
Oh yeah. I really love the demographic. They're really intelligent and they're really open.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah. And looking after ourselves and the planet can be really fun. It's actually way more fun than the opposite.
It's like, what can we learn from these young people? Hey, Brian, it's not like, we've got to deal with them throughout their teenage years. Like, no, they're holding a mirror to everything unresolved in ourselves. Like, any judgments we have, it's just like, tapping on something that, lies within.
It's hitting a narrative, all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally, and we all weren't perfect growing up. I was part of the kids that, I mean, we were storming the big day out fences and, like lighting things on fire and, so I've learned from my mistakes, and now I'm just learning to step forward into, I don't know, use my kids as my gurus. Our kids are closer to source. They really know what's up, and listening to them and has been a huge part of actually how we've created what we created. We've kind of started with kids up and gone, okay, where's a safe place to be with kids, and then gone from there. And then it's just turned out to be, what's better for the planet. Okay, we look at waste, we look at the kai that we're putting into our bodies. We're also a meat-free festival as well. We're big on plant-based diet, so all our food trucks are vegetarian and vegan.
Blows people's minds, even just for 4 days, if it's not your norm.
Yeah, just an experience.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be vegan or plant-based or anything, but like just feel it out,
There's so much knowledge around plant-based, and it's not often that you will find a festival that's doing that. So it's awesome. Because I'm vegetarian.
Yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
you're gonna love it.
Man.
The other thing is also like you guys, our events, like Franko said, were like driven from this. Okay, we got nowhere to take our kids over New Year's. Where they are happy, they are safe. Like we could be at our house in Mangere having like a bit of a party, or if we want to gather and be with people, we've got to create it where there isn't NOS bottles on the ground and lots of alcohol and like all of this, because they're young, they're between, when we started the festival, 5 and 10, and now they're approaching teenagehood, more like 8 till 13, 14. And so it's been like from that place, what do they need? Like what would they like? And we did the countdown on stage with my middle one kind of over the shoulder asleep. She's so angry. She's like, why am I in the video asleep, Mom? Like thrown over the shoulder. But it's like they teach so much, and to have a fully, like truly family friendly, inclusive event, that's been our guide.
Yeah, completely. Because it's just the way we kind of live, and we just share the way we live with thousands of other people at certain times of the year. That's all it is. It's just sharing what works for us, and it looks like a very similar kaupapa to what you guys do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think for me as a promoter, it's really important to be able to share what I do and not change, if that makes sense. Like to put whatever else is going on in the world or in New Zealand, really, it's just being able to, because I need to still keep true to who I am, and so I have to make sure that these, like, my duty of care is really big, and it's and I work a lot on it, and every year I'll tweak it, because I just think of my children or my grandchildren. We've got grandchildren, of course, so it's so the next generation that's coming through.
Cool.
I'm thinking holistically of how I can put it into our festival, because then it keeps me true.
Yeah, totally. And knowing as promoters as well, like what's involved, a question that's on top for me is, how do you guys look after yourselves? How do you guys stay well as individuals, as in relationship, and as a whānau? We
have a great team around us. We've built such a great, intelligent, trustworthy, just a really good crew around us. With Naomi and myself, I know my strengths and weaknesses, and I know her strengths and weaknesses. And what we've figured out over the years is that we don't cross over our mahi together. You know what I mean? And, she's an expert in this area, and or I do this area, and But I guess we have people, it's really almost like maintenance for us now. It's not a lot of unknowns for us. And I'm a bit of a future thinker, so I'm always trying to anticipate those breakdowns and have a solution for them. Even if it doesn't happen, I still, you know what I mean, it ensures that we remain calm and that we can articulate that directly to our crew, and then that just feed down to all the team leaders, and then,
Wow.
Beautiful.
I've worked it out over the years. Never used to be like that, all right?
Man, hats off.
And I think, you know, like, Raglan's a beautiful place. We have, you know, it's just such a nice setting to begin with. You know, underneath the Mona and next to the Moana, it's just that how lucky are we. So the energy's there anyway. I think as far as going into it and looking after ourselves in our everyday kind of lives, you know, we do yoga, mindfulness. We do, you know, I'm pretty much plant-based to keep my mind calm and being able to, because we're at the end where we sometimes are dealing with quite difficult things sometimes that will come up. So being calm on the spot to be able to just think it through and not, because one of my biggest things is supporting everybody that's working on my team and all our contractors, and so that there becomes a calmness with everybody around the festival that's working it, so that gets drawn down to everyone else. So I guess as leaders we try and keep ourselves.
Oh yeah, if we're not calm, you know, our team's not going to be calm.
Yeah.
So, quite a few years since I've actually worn a high vis or had an RT, you know.
Cool.
I just take it stride now and just, you know, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And watching people enjoy themselves. And
so beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that key? First year we were like front of house and head of merch tent. He was playing on stage, you know. Second year we were all the same, except maybe not so much from front of house. Third year, no front of house, but like new jobs. Like, man, it's a big thing because we're parents, because we're exceptional at holding a lot, multitasking a lot. When you've got a budget of nothing, you know, starting out, you people are like, you know, hire a nice big flash team. It's like, well, you know, we don't know if we're going to feed ourselves throughout this thing, let alone promise employment to another. And we really, like you said, like, don't want to lose the house in this process. So, but hearing you guys now say, we put the RTs down, we don't wear the Ivers. We did say after last year, this is not going to be sustainable unless we really enjoy it a whole lot more. And so love that. I love that advice. And yeah, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, it reminds me of just good advice for people growing in business out there. You guys mentioned that once your festival was the one that had headlines for tents that were, you know, just left there and and every year you can't do everything at once. It's got to just grow. There's a stagger. There's things that you can add to every year. Okay, I've got space for this now. I've got space for zero waste. I've got space to look at the kai we're feeding our people. And by the way, we loved your little wellness zone as well at Soundsplash. We went and did some yoga in the mornings there, so it's cool to see that getting incorporated into festivals. Lots of festivals now. Explore's doing it. They got a big wellness zone, and you know that's great. And that's another extension of how you guys live as well. That's all we're doing here is sharing what works, right?
That's right. And I think what I've noticed that well kindness area came in because last festival, or actually probably last two festivals, the younger ones are coming in with lots of anxiety, lots of mental health issues that they may not have talked to anyone about, and then they come to our festival and it's like, wow, okay, we need these people to offer you and to follow up afterwards. And so I have a lot of workshops and speakers. Actually, that area is going to grow this year.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Just going from this year, the anxiety is huge. You know, they're not even, some of them are, they're not intoxicated, they're anxious, and they really are dealing with some lot of pressures, and that's my biggest focus for the planning going into 2021 is what I'm doing in those areas and what I'm doing to support them. It's unfortunate that you do find you may have someone young, they want their parents there, so we have to sit with them, and it's all good, it's all aroha, and but it's a change, and it's within 2 years there was a change very, very rapidly. So
really, you're noticing that?
Every new generation that comes, there's going to be something else that happens, and so they're teaching us.
Totally.
Be able to know what's going to come in, because I didn't. It's different for me when I was their age, when they were their age. So it's changing.
Also, that you get some parents that ring up and they go, well, how do you think this is at all acceptable having these young people at the festival? Or then Johnny's going to get into trouble or something. I was like, well, don't even come.
Yeah.
If you're not confident,
so we've been quite not strict, but quite open about behave like this. Don't come.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Clarity from your end
basically
goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're seeing now playgrounds, right, with like super spongy mattresses underneath them, and schools have rules, you can't climb trees, and fewer broken bones and grazes, amazing. But a direct correlation to especially young males having this like really unfulfilled need to take and hopping behind a motor vehicle and pushing it there, or feeling that in a club or with other unhealthy expressions with peers, stuff like that. And so this place that you're giving is a place where they can extend a bit, they can feel, they can lean into, like, these are the parameters, these are the boundaries, still we won't tolerate these certain things. But no, it's a brave space to hold, and one that I think you do well. And
in traditional music festivals that I'm sure we've all gone to before, there's no other point of contact apart from the singer or the band on the stage or the guy you're getting your drink or kai from. What a yoga class in the middle of all this does, or a debate, or someone talking on a subject. It gives just another, especially a lot of social anxiety out there. People who are sort of like, I don't have any friends, I don't know who to talk to. It gives a real sort of exhale, and you can feel seen as well. You're just one of the sea. You're not the sea in the sea of people all the time, and that can be overwhelming. It gives some humility to it, I think. So thank you guys for listening to what the people are calling for as well. That's major.
Yeah, we do collect a lot of data, and we go through it every year.
Yeah,
we collect the data from the attendees to our staff to the contractors to absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we, even in the wellbeing zones, you have those jars, and they can just write stuff and just chuck them in there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's important.
Epic.
Feedback and stuff like that, which I thought was out the gate, really.
Yeah.
It's anonymous.
It's anonymous, and it's just to keep, because it, when our children first started wanting to do the festival with us, it's a different generation to the ones I have coming now.
Oh yeah, our kids too.
So those ones
really
are a little bit more risk-taking. These ones are quite different. So every year we put these certain questions out, and I will answer them, and it's all anonymous. But from that, I learn a lot of what I need to put in place.
Yeah, then it's sort of evidence-based. Yeah. We're not making it up.
Yeah, exactly. What is the biggest issue? What is the biggest issue that you think that this generation is facing?
Definitely anxiety is huge.
Yeah, what?
That's probably... I was just going to say moving into...
Misinformation, I suppose.
Yeah, confusion. You know, like who do we listen to? Who are these people on this say this is going on in the world, but this is going on in the world, and these people, who do we trust? Who do we know is actually telling the truth?
Yeah.
I think
Our parents are saying one thing, but they're doing another.
Lots of confusion.
A lot of confusion, I would say.
Yeah.
That resonates.
In the age of information saturation, like, mum's too busy to talk, so the phone.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just before we let you guys go get your kai for the evening, I want to touch back on the music for 1 second, because I'm a musician. I love your music. I love reggae and roots music. And I believe that music is medicinal before it's entertainment. Like it's actual magic underneath the big business is the medicine, and it always has been. You know, it's only been 100 years since we haven't had to sing ourselves or physically play an instrument in order to hear music, because there wasn't any recordings. You had to sing it, you had to play it, you had to beat your drum. Why do you think reggae music and roots music makes you feel the way it does? What is that medicine quality to that beat?
I think, right. So we're all energy and, vibration. So the frequencies. And so the frequencies of that particular genre of music hit your body at certain points. And the hi-hat's up here and it's hitting your ear. The kicks here, the bass moves your hips. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that's the groove of it. It's all the frequencies and vibrations that are hitting your body.
Beautiful.
I love that. What can we expect from Cornerstone Roots at New Year's Eve, music-wise?
I get asked this question a lot, and I usually say, have no expectations.
That'll do. That'll do if you like.
But I enjoy the energy that we bring these days with our whānau, and it's an experience, and I feel like we're gonna emanate that, and it's going to come straight back, and then we're going to push it straight back, and it's going to be like that.
Oh,
we are going to hit a rhythm. You know what I mean?
Yes, that push and pull.
We're just thrilled. We're just thrilled to have you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys would like to just finish on? Anything you'd like to say?
I'm really looking forward to it. I was so excited when Brian told us, what Adam told us.
Yes.
Oh, thrill.
I think that exactly what he just said, that's going to be created within all of us.
Yeah, I mean, next year is our 20th anniversary, so we're rolling into it with the right vibes. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we are going to tell our own story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not, and for us, it's like I will eternally be a musician. It doesn't matter how old I am or whatever. It's just part of me. So, it's not as though we go 20 years, blow the candles out. It's just like 20 years, and here's what we're going to do for the next 20.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. We're really feeling you guys, and we can't wait to see you at this festival, Resolution New Year's Eve, where people can get tickets right now at resolutionfestival.co.nz. But we can't wait to see you at your festival, Soundsplash, as well. Can you remind us of the website for Soundsplash as well?
Yeah, soundsplash.co.nz.
Easy, amazing. We're going to come say hi there, and probably a whole bunch of other places over the years to come. And it's just such an honor to have you both on our second podcast. So yeah, thank you so much. We're big fans, and we can't wait to dance the night away at the end of the year.
Let's flick your mokopuna some free tickets as well, so they can come and hang out. Make sure we get them there to see them. That would be epic.
Yeah.
No, this is important. Yeah, just give us the numbers. We've got a big whānau, so get it in early.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Kia ora to both of you. All right.
For your time, guys.
Awesome.
See you soon.
Cool.
Bye.
To find out more about NZ Spirit, head to our websites nzspiritfestival.com, resolutionfestival.co.nz, and nzyogaday.co.nz.